Hey everybody, I'm Storm Team Meteorologist Nate Harrington. This is your Weather Wednesday. We've been talking about Hurricane Dorian for the last almost week now, but we want to know how it ranks, how it stacks up with some of the hurricanes of the recent past. 2016, 2017, and 2018, we had some very notable storms. Hurricane Dorian is going to be one of those storms that we compare it to. And how about some of the storms in the not so recent past? Some historical storms. It's one of the strongest ever in the Atlantic. So this is Hurricane Dorian now. As of our recording on Wednesday, as we watch it, a Category 2 storm. Very reminiscent, the damage done when it crossed over the Bahamas to what Hurricane Michael did just last year. This is some of the images. This is just one image from Abaco in the Bahamas. Total devastation. You compare that with Michael, it's the same sort of stuff. Wind damage, wave damage, water damage. Some of those buildings from Michael down in Mexico Beach will never be rebuilt. How about the water? Very reminiscent of what Hurricane Harvey did to Texas. This is Hurricane Dorian. You see the Grand Bahama Island. Dorian just sat over that island for 24 hours, dumping rain and bringing in storm surge. The outline in yellow that you see on the bottom picture, that is the beach that you see on the top picture. We're talking about water that is at least 2 miles in some places inland. That shouldn't be, but that's exactly what happened with Dorian. This is Hurricane Harvey. Roads became rivers and lakes. People used boats instead of cars and trucks. It was an absolute disaster for several days afterward as the water started to recede. And then the track looked very similar to what Hurricane Matthew did back in 2016. A little bit different. Hurricane Dorian went in between Puerto Rico and Hispaniola. Hurricane Matthew went in between Hispaniola and Cuba. But once it got to the Bahamas, it acted very similarly, kind of riding along the coast of Florida and then making that turn. We're expecting Dorian to make that turn later on today and into Thursday as it skirts the East Coast and possibly makes a landfall somewhere in South Carolina and North Carolina. And then how about historically, okay? The storms that we compare it to as far as the strongest ever on record, some pretty impressive names that Dorian is now sharing company with. The Labor Day hurricane of 1935, 185 mile per hour winds when it made landfall in Florida, in the Keys, and then Cedar Key. And then Dorian made landfall just a couple of days ago on Abaco Island with 185 mile per hour winds. Irma, back in 2017, is second, 180 mile per hour winds. And then Janet, Camille, Anita, and David had 175 mile per hour winds when they made landfall back more than, in some cases, 60 years ago. Names that are absent from that list: Hurricane Katrina. Hurricane Michael wasn't as strong as Hurricane Dorian. Hurricane Andrew, storm of record for a lot of Floridians, not on that list. So a lot of strong hurricanes that aren't on that list. Crazy to think about how strong Dorian was. That's your Weather Wednesday for this Wednesday, September 4th. Make sure to stay tuned, CBS42.com and our CBS 42 Facebook and social media pages for more Weather Wednesdays from the CBS 42 Storm Team. Have a great day, everybody.